still open for the taking, and that's what RIX is going to pick up. Again, we talked about Karma being paired with a lot of compositions. We're talking about Olaf, we're talking about Jax as well could be open. Honestly, RIX can go for the same Game 1 composition where they won.
Honestly, I've seen Jax done incredibly well in multiple situations now.
Yep.
I'm quite a big believer, especially when you have that Karma. I was hoping that T1 would want to take that away first. Doesn't seem to be the case. The Ziggs and Wukong instead.
Yeah, Ziggs again secures your late game. You're basically all set if you have the Ziggs on your side. So this could mean that T1 could be going back to basics, could be going back to the T1 special of fighting in the Elder Drake. So I like this pick from T1.
But let's not forget, Doom also had the Ziggs last game, and somehow T1 were able to get to that Ziggs due to the use of the Nami, due to the use of engaged style supports. Well, not even engaged style support, and enchanter support. Now they have a full-on engaged support.
I know, the tidal wave just sent a straight path to the Ziggs, accessing that backline. So now I want to see T1 on the Gragas. Pick the Gragas here, don't let RIX ban it on the next rotation.
It's not a tidal wave, but the next best thing is the cow running in your face.
Yeah, it's gonna be scary. You need that explosive cast to make sure it's gone, but it seems to me T1 is gonna prioritize his Camille instead. For Jong, that means you have the Hexic Ultimatum, single target, able to remove immediately who your carry is. Because looking at RIX's composition, all you see are utility, all you see are tanks. For sure, RIX is going for a single threat comp like a Jax once more.
I am very curious what RIX are going to have Doom play. You mentioned how you expect that single carry composition. Does that mean Doom is going to default into like a mage, kind of wave clear? Like, what's the plan here for RIX? Very curious.
They need a wave clear indeed, just as you said.
Yes, the Jax
right?
ban, yes!
Yes, it's gone! Yeah, that's a good call from T1. 7 did... it was so good on the Jax in game number 1, and that's why they won, right? So for RIX now, I feel like they need a wave clear. You know what they need? A Varus. Varus, Doom and Varus is just so good, had an amazing performance, and if you pair that up with a Karma, it basically compensates the lack of mobility that Varus has with the movement speed.
I'll tell you what, Riku, I am a little bit concerned here for T1. A big part of what they were doing last game was diving the bot side, or trying to dive the bot side. Now, we have Clue on the Alistar. So difficult to dive in Alistar.
Yeah, because when you dive in, you just push them away like, get out of my carry. But that's still the question mark. Who's going to be your carry? Who's going to be at the bottom lane? If it's going to be a Varus, I feel like that's going to be a very vulnerable target. But I feel like that Karma is going to be enough with that movement speed. Oh! Is this going to be a Vayne? Oh, please, wait, no. It could be 6 mid still, yeah?
Yeah, it could still be 6 mid. Lulu's come through, pairs well with the Vayne. But it would be a risk on elimination to pull out the Vayne here.
Oh my
BDG,
gosh.
they have to see more tanks here. I think that's what the call is. We need to see more tanks on the side of RIX, and RIX continue to double down and engage high, engage tanky champions. Well, I think that is a call for the Vayne, so RIX gotta take it away first.
I love this so much, but that means T1 can pivot into this Varus. Again, or Draven even. One of the biggest things that a Vayne is so hard. The reason why it's hard to pull off? No! We're going hyper-scaling versus hyper-scaling, baby. This is such a rare occurrence, Grandin. Usually when you see a Vayne on the opposite side, you want to shut them down immediately during the laning phase. But no! BDG says, no, I'm going to fight you with fire.
I do have just a little bit more confidence in T1's fire here. But RIX, they have the wild card, they have the chance to pop off and show us what happens when you have that Vayne in your team. Of course, a lot of easy targets to take down if you are the Vayne here. Not so easy for the Kai'Sa, so maybe that's what they were banking on.
Yeah, I think that's the worry, right? Because if you're aiming for a single target, we talked about this midway draft, right, Brandon? It's all about having that single...
The last game between these two teams.
Oh, it is a Morgana jungle. It's 7 on the Morgana
Where's
jungle.
Hell's Devil? We need Hell's Devil for this.
We need Hells!
Hell's...
Hells, do you?
He is very prepared with this. He has a whole dissertation prepared for why the Morgana jungle works.
Yeah, I'm sure he's like jumping up and down like, yes, 7 on the Morgana jungle. And it works so well with this composition. Usually, when we see double enchanters hyper-scaling, it's usually mid lane and bot lane support, right? But it's so very rare on the jungle. And I love this so much because that means Clue can be on an engaged support and then be that setter. You've got Black Shield, you've got movement speed. I feel like Duo has everything in comparison to BDG. BDG has to make such a huge effort to make sure that he's safe versus Doom.
You needs to get his job done well, but at the same time, that also means that T1 have a lot more independence. The rest of his team can get things done because Jong, look at the top side.
One more?
He's fighting Random 1 versus 1 and will come out ahead as Random narrowly survives.
Love the patience from Jong, right? He decided to keep his flash for the next potential fight. JY can double down on that, visit that lane later on, and finish the job.
A high-tension moment for these two teams. Will T1 join Roster Y in the group stage, or will it be RIX joining Team Queso?
That's gonna be crazy, right? Because yesterday we saw Sentinels get that win over Kwangdong Freaks, send them home, continue their journey in Icons. The same thing, the same tale can be told once RIX wins this series.
Game Lords, unfortunately, will not be able to join as well, and so it truly is a chance for either of these two teams to move into group stages as well, give their region another fighting chance. To go down to the bottom side, 7. He's got the top side Scuttle Crab, and he wants the bot side one as well, but I do believe it was JY that was able to secure it.
And they're fine, no fights just yet. Again, this composition from T1, going back to basics here. Top lane though.
Very close to winning this fight though.
Woo!
Decides not to stay for it, flashes away.
Whew, that could have gone either way, right? But the Ignite was, not Ignite, but the DOTs were hitting on Jong.
I feel like that was pressure there. I think Jong could have got the kill.
Yeah. There were 2 routes.
He had the flash advantage as well. Random used it the last engage, the last instance. I do believe that that was a little bit of, yes, honestly just nerves going into the final game.
Don't want to risk it. You know, like top lane could go, could snowball out of control. 7 though.
Again, down to the bottom side, Clue missed the chance. The flash headbutt. We see what happens here when you are so very close to elimination. A lot of pressure on these two teams.
Second time around though for 7. Binding.
Rotating around from the back.
Whoa!
Flashing in. Looking for the
Whoa!
ultimate. The Condemn comes through. Instead, Penguin gets tagged and giving first blood over to RIX.
Gotta love the aggression that RIX is showing right now. Using the Morgana jungle, using Clue to set up for that instead. And I love the zoning as well. Flash, ult, Soul Shackles, Penguin, BDG separated. And now, JY gonna stick around though.
JY is here, smalls them out.
Whoa!
Huge Cyclone! They get the bonus damage out from Core on the turret. Clue buying so much charge, and Embrace comes in. They're able to pull back on the JY. JY dashes in, gets BDG into the back line. Can't Rain finally finishes off the kill. The exhaust comes through on the Doom. That binding, not able to connect, not able to stop BDG, but it lands on the Penguin. Does not give T1 the chance to get back in.
Amazing Cyclone from JY, right, for that tower dive. RIX saw that. They could have gotten a kill from BDG, but because T1 were patient, JY wanted to go home already. Canceled his sports. Random, though, falling.
This should be a kill. Barrier out for Random. Ignite ticking down. Jong with a solo kill in the top side.
Nicely done. Jong wanted that kill since the very beginning of that game. Random earlier took it back, evened up the summoner spell pool. Jong is able to get that Hextech ultimatum, win that trade.
T1, 2-2 now, have just a marginally larger goal lead, but RIX as well. You see Doom here, he's holding a pretty good amount of gold, able to hit a pretty big spike. You see on BDG sides, able to pick up the BF sword, the Vimper Scepter, and the Longsword, giving him the Acadian Rain upgrade. A pretty big power spike here for T1.
Yeah, that's absolutely important, right? Especially if you're laning, you need that extra help in the wave clear department, especially that's the weakness of a Vayne lane, right? They have a hard time getting priority unless 7 assists them, so I think that's very important for BDG to get ahead.
Switching things around, it's RIX up in the top side, trying to pressure out Jong. Meanwhile, T1 are the first to start up the objective, the Dragon going down quite quickly. RIX start up the Rift Out on the opposite side of the map. Will T1 look for a fight? The answer should be no, as they move back down to the bot lane to try and pick up more farm.
Honestly, RIX can do the same thing that BDG did in game number 2. Get the Rift Herald, funnel all turret plates onto Doom, accelerate his gold count, and then fight at the 3rd dragon. Honestly, that they can definitely do that. We'll see if BDG. Honestly, I feel like this match in general, if we don't see any kills, I'm looking at the gold, and right now BDG is winning that for just a very teeny tiny margin.
Sure, gets a little bit more on the bot side. It is interesting to see Doom here in the solo lane against Jong, but Jong has a difficult time trying to hold the Vayne in place, at least by himself. We'll just look to back away. And as we start to see a couple of items come through for T1 and RIX. Thoughts on the next fights that are going to happen? Who comes up ahead, Riku?
Okay, for me, I feel like RIX is gonna win because they have everything. They have double protection for Doom. And they have two tanky members that is able to soak a lot of pressure, soak a lot of damage for T1. On the other hand, though, T1 has a lot of answers to remove a single threat comp. We talked about Hextech Ultimatum into Cyclone. So as long as Doom is alive, RIX will win the fight. If T1 can hit their ults correctly, they're gonna lose.
I love how active JY has been throughout this game. Constantly moving around, trying to set his team up for success. But a very good job done here by RIX as well to prevent all of that. As John continues to try and snowball his team even further. Random in a spot of trouble as JY is looking for a dive here as well. Ooh, the Ignite to cut the healer on Honey Fruit, flashing in, they managed to get the dive going! JY comes in, a beautiful upper end to prevent the damage coming through. The bleed onto JY, but he heals up, he survives through it all! Down the bottom end, Clue trying to force an engage here on the Penguin Send Embrace comes through. BDG needs to get away, but gets caught by the Condemn on the way out. Gets Killer Instinct to dive back towards his turret and will survive the attempts by RIX.
Gotta love what T1 is doing, right? They're amplifying Jong because he is the primary answer to eliminate Doom. He's able to access the backline and just single target him basically with a Hextech Ultimatum. In response to this though, RIX saw an opportunity that, hey, JY is on top side. It's our time to dive bot lane as an exchange. But T1 prevents any sort of death on their side for that dive. I think that's a pretty good job.
Especially with the Rift Turret being used. T1 only lost that bot side turret and we're still able to trade back. First turret was over to RIX though, but it's not a huge loss considering all things considered.
Yeah, definitely, right? I feel like RIX wanted to get extra kills over that dive. But when we look at the gold, again, BDG is doing a phenomenal job replicating his performance from game number 2. If I'm not getting any kills, I'm just going to get all gold to myself. One thing that I'm looking at, though, when it comes to the 15 to 20-minute mark is that T1's composition is not a single threat comp. They have cores going to scale so well in the late game. And I feel like that's the concern that RIX has to face in fights where they cannot pull the trigger.
A massive rotation here from RIX up towards the top side. BDG
BDG
gets caught here by Clue, flashing forward.
It's fine.
Or not even using the flash, just has to use the rocket belt.
Full dive.
Trying to go for the dive at the top side. So much damage out here from BDG, but BDG still gets caught in the end. Clue goes down despite the black shield.
I think that's the best case scenario. Before you fall down, you take 2 down with you. And I think that's great. BDG now 3-1-0.
And initially, we had thought that BDG was going to be the main problem, core as well. But I start to see another issue start to form. Random, not able to hold his own against Jong. He has some crowd control, has the upper hand. But seeing this Camille scale up, I'm a little bit concerned for RIX here.
Oh yeah, T1 recognizes the fact that they really need Jong to be the answer against Doom this time around. Let's take a look at that dive again. They have different forms of target, but BDG was 1v1ing Clue under the tower, and that gave him time to chunk him down. So therefore the tower aggro that's going on was a bit awkward, and that's the reason why BDG is able to get 2 kills before he fell down. With the assist, of course, of Core from downtown.
A 2-for-2 exchange, actually very worthwhile here for T1, as I do believe that emboldens them a little bit more. Are trying to fight for this Rift Herald. The redemption comes in. Will just barely take Random, but no damage effectively dealt.
Look at Jong here. It's going to Hextech Ultimatum Doom here. Watch, watch, watch.
Clue trying to knock them away. Will not be able to steal away the Rift Herald. Core offloading some damage, but T1 still not looking for a fight.
Okay, the reason why that didn't happen because Jong already used hookshot prior to that, so he couldn't exactly reach Doom in that scenario. Felt like T1 didn't see a reason why to engage either in that fight, because it was too late to begin with.
And I think T1 also just want to prepare for the Dragon, right?
Yeah,
like that's your win condition. That's what they like to try and play for. They don't really care so much about the Rift Heralds, especially when you have a Ziggs in your side.
That's true, exactly. I was about to say that because RIX badly needs the Rift Herald because it's a Vayne. If you're going to go in range of auto-attacking the tower, you're going to be in deep trouble.
It is a very interesting position here. RIX trying to walk in onto the Dragon. Clue comes in with the Black Shield Snitch. If he steps forward, JY finds the entry angle. Clue will get the knockout onto the Wukong for it now. JY just tries to reposition. The redemption comes in the top, then back up to full. T1 going over the Dragon now. Flash coming through from JY, but the exhaust out from Snitch.
I like this. RIX dropping the Rift Herald. They might lose mid lane though if they keep going. Oh dear.
7 losing some good amount of health right now. John looking for his re-entry angle. Will manage to find it onto Random, but gets caught by the Dark Binding. Stopped before he could do more to RIX's backline.
Well, this is definitely enough. They weren't able to destroy that tower going in.
Comes in with a killer instinct, has a hook shot. They managed to find the first kill on the turret. But random response here as well. Gets not hit by JY. Doom doing an amazing job dishing out damage. JY still alive for now, but gets hit by the duck binding, and that might not be the case much longer as RIX respond back with 2 kills of their own.
That was a very aggressive dive coming from T1. Able to get the tower and only 1 kill at the end of the day. It felt like they were having a hard time reaching Doom. I love the positioning from Doom here on that skirmish. And I feel like that's the reason why they couldn't win that fight entirely.
T1 do at least manage to pull away the dragon, but a very ambitious dive there.
Yeah. Jong going in with a hook shot and then killer instinct from BDG. That was extra aggressive.
Extremely.
But I like it.
And I do like it.
Yeah.
The fact is, T1 recognized that, you know, we cannot be passive anymore. We must take an active stance. RIX on their side as well are perhaps looking for a play in the top side. BDG has been a target of focus. Doom, on the other hand, left relatively untouched. 3-0 and 3 has yet to die.
Yeah, both of these AD carries, BDG and Doom, are doing super well. You've got 3-0-3, 4-1-0 though for BDG. He's in the lead for the gold race at the moment. And while 1K isn't so much of a significant lead, I feel like it is still when it comes to the itemization, the upgrades that BDG is looking for.
Exactly. When you have the upgrades to your spells,
Yep.
because of that 1K difference.
Very important.
Very important indeed. RIX are trying to set up waves towards the top side as well as the mid side. Rift Turret was not able to take down the mid turret, so T1 still have that for now. RIX want to be able to pick that up as quickly as possible, open up the map for their sake.
Looking at T1, because they're the ones that destroy the mid lane first, they have control over the Rift Herald for the second Rift Herald that's going to spawn. And if they do deny that away from RIX, then RIX is going to have a hard time destroying these towers versus a Ziggs comp and the type of comp that they have, which is, again, we talked about it, the Fade's going to have a hard time sieging towers.
Right, the Baron.
The Baron. Oh, the Baron! It's the Baron!
It's the Baron. Hello, Mr. Nasher.
Hello. That's
Baron.
not a Baron impression.
Baron shows up on the map. You can start to see now 13 minutes into game. We are approaching the next phases here as well. Random once again.
Oh my god.
Caught out in a bad position. Clue will be able to find some damage and a knock up onto BDG to hold him in place. He pops the Unchained ultimate. Seven starts to run in. He does have his ultimate here going for him. BDG goes into stasis to buy some time. Dodges away from every spell as well.
Mission accomplished. Oh! Okay, no one falls for that.
No kill though.
That was too close there. Jong still trying to play with fire here, knowing the fact that a lot of RIX members are going home, seeing maybe he could get a kill before he goes home as well. Maybe sticking around even to get a tower, to get a chip damage on the tower. But I like this from T1, the aggression, they keep hammering at it. And considering the fact that game number 1, they're starting the Baron.
Is this for real?
It's for real.
For real?
For real, for real.
Under 10,000. Baron going down quite quickly, but it seems like RIX have caught on to this. Cannot trick them. They know what's up.
Yeah, we'll see though.
Wait, they do not know what's up.
Seven's far away.
They walked over. They thought they knew what was up. But the Baron going over to T1. And nothing that RIX can do to stop this. Random walking in now as well. He's gonna get tagged, but the exhaust has stuff flashing away. Will T1 pursue this kill? The answer is no, but the Baron still goes into their back pocket.
It was so difficult, right? Because 7 was far away, farming the red side jungle. So that means T1 had information that 7 was there. Really quick thinking from T1.
And that all started off that 1 kill onto Random in the bot side. Once they were able to get RIX low, knew they had to reset, they made a beeline for that Baron. Amazing macro here from T1. When the stakes are high, this is when it matters.
Yeah, amazing macro, amazing initiative as well. And when we look back at game number 1, T1 drafting a early to mid-game comp that unfortunately they couldn't make proactive plays. And seeing them now for game number 3, using a hyper-scaling comp, by the way, and being so proactive in finding kills and fights.
Dragon coming up in 20 seconds. He's going to be the Clown. No Elder just yet. T1 starting to bring in these waves, trying to clear out the turrets. We'll pick up this mid one.
Remember, Grandin, 15-minute mark. We talked about how BDG is going to be a problem and Core alongside with him. So if BDG falls, if Core falls, either way, as long as one is alive, they can still fight.
No, I'm very concerned here, Riku.
Yeah!
RIX They still have a chance. They have strong champions.
True.
Doom could still pop off. He's still keeping up with the game.
Yes, if they activate a team fight and Doom is able to finish off kills, and he's alive, it's possible. Black Shield, movement speed from the Karma. RIX maneuvers around these fights so well. They can win. They can still take this back.
But it's all eyes on Doom at that point, and RIX need to give him the fight, the chance to pull them back in the game. T1 have done this before. They did it 2-0 last time. They're looking to do it 2-1 this time. RIX, on the other hand, fighting back the best that he can, using the spells to clear the wave. Transcendent's Brace was burnt trying to do it. Random might fall in the side lane, gets caught by the Hextech ultimate again.
Whoa.
Doom has his ultimate, but JY chasing after. He'll find the Cyclone onto the Vayne, a priority target for this team. But Clue standing in the way of T1. They need to finish off the Alistar first. Cyclone comes across again. JY finally goes down. T1 sent out of the base of RIX.
Okay, T1, if they blow all their resources and they do not kill Doom, that is the time T1 should be worried. I think this is the right call to back away, especially that JY is gone. They need a secondary. They need Hextech Ultimatum. They need Cyclone to be able to be comfy in these fights. But at the same time, the base is open, Grandin. RIX has to defend with their mid and a bot lane with natural wave pressure pushing in. And with, I wouldn't exactly say poor wave clear, but with a Morgana and a Karma on your side, I don't think you can match the same wave clear that BDG and Core has.
I can only imagine the kind of tension on stage right now. T1, Quantum Freaks were not able to make the cut into the group stages. Incredible competition in their group, in the play-ins, and now T1 have the chance to give WCK another seed in.
Exactly. Having two representatives towards groups is very, very important for the WCK. And they're very close to closing this out, especially when I look at BDG's inventory. He's got Guardian Angel, he's got Phantom Dancer, there's a lot of safety. RIX will have a difficult time killing BDG in these fights.
Watch, the second Baron is up. This time around, RIX, they have vision. And so they know this is going down, but it's already down to less than half. 5,000 coming through. RIX need to pull the trigger now. Doom's about to run in, but they're going to go over to T1. They need to find a fight. Doom still trying to look for an angle, looking for an entry, going on to JY. Random picks on one kill. They find the Wukong finally in the pit. Penguin will go down as well. RIX still holding on a fighting chance.
Oh my word, that went so well for RIX. Able to keep Doom alive, able to free hit, but look at Jung. He's pushing the mid lane.
Look at the base.
They're
He's
pushing.
going in.
They're canceling the ports. They're not letting them go home.
T1's blocking it. They're onto the Nexus. RIX cannot get back to base in time. And Jung onto the Nexus has brought in the minion wave. And they've done it once. They'll do it again. They take down RIX.
What a way to end the series. What a way for T1 to continue their journey here in Icons with Jung pushing that Nexus, with the rest of T1 canceling the ports of RIX to defend their base. That was explosive, Grandin.
An amazing series from both these teams. T1 going to game one. We saw RIX coming out strong. They had fixed so many of the issues. They were able to prevent a lot of the dives happening from T1, a lot of the setup that they had come in planned for, and yet T1 going to games 2 and 3, we saw them shine bright. BDG performing exceptionally for his team.
Oh yeah, BDG. Game 1 didn't work out so well for T1, but when they put on the switch, BDG with the Lucian